Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Crying is a Free Action podcast. Uh, we're a local podcast here in North Dakota, in the United States. We're all over the place, where we are going to talk about some news and some politics, some things in our home states around the globe. I'm here joined today with my good friend Tommy. Tommy, how are you?
I'm doing great.
Excellent.
How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for asking. I'm a little tired, a little low energy. It's been a busy week for me, just with work and getting ready for stuff. So, I'm also joined by Al. Al, how are you?
Hello.
Hello. As always, we are the team behind Easy Vote ND North Dakota. Find us at easyvotend.com. Tommy wrote a nice piece that I think people should go and read. It's a short, quick one. Tommy, go ahead. Yeah, say something about it.
Some people might say it's a poem, but it doesn't rhyme. But it's
poetry doesn't have to rhyme. That's okay.
Yep, but it's a quick little minute or two. Maybe it'll give some thoughts, maybe not. But please visit easyvotend.com.
Nice. As always, we are National Peasant Radio. I have realized with this microphone I have to lean into it and talk very deliberately.
That's you have to deep throat it?
Pretty much.
Do it right now.
Ooh. I know, bitch. It's a big black one. It was too much for me. Anyways.
Whoa.
Anyways, maybe next time.
Yeah, maybe next time.
Take me out to dinner first. Anywho, actually, that was pretty funny. So I got a little follow-up story here. First, I'm going to hit some North Dakota news. Let's move over to the right thing. Perfect. And we're going to this button. All right. President Donald Trump has approved federal disaster relief funds to aid 19 North Dakota counties damaged by severe storms in June. The storms included tornadoes, hail, strong winds, and it destroyed a lot of stuff. So the initial damage assessment was $11.4 million, and they have approved the request for aid for that. And then there is a separate request from August storms in North Dakota that we have not heard back yet on, but they did say that the approval time to get these funds was extremely long compared to what it's been in the past. So, color me surprised. Donald Trump and Kristi Noem dispersed. So this is one of the things that now Kristi Noem has to sign off on as the head of the DOJ, because now FEMA's under that and all this crap, and if it's anything over $100,000, it has to go to her. And we still haven't heard about the other ones. And so Stephen Colbert said it pretty well. Thanks, President Trump, but a broken clock is still best friends with Jeffrey Epstein.
That's right.
So, yeah, that's what I got. Al, you guys were looking for some federal aid down there after the wildfires. Did you guys ever end up getting any?
No, we still haven't gotten any.
Cool. What a cool place we live in.
Yeah, I mean these are
as far as I'm aware, at least.
Right.
All right. Yeah, it's good that at least we're getting something, but it's just the timeline. It's rough because the longer sometimes it takes to get prices for these fixes, the more expensive it's going to be. Because
it just becomes harder and harder to recover. Absolutely.
Wow, mocha. How about that?
It is
mocha. Mocha.
Yeah.
Yep. So in this case, what we have here on the screen here is a big old document. You can probably there's a little button to kind of shrink some part of it to make it a bit wider if you want. But this is the Make American Health.
Make our children healthy again.
Make our children healthy again. Yep. This is a big old document.
Can I interject for a second?
Yes, sir.
So let's fucking think about this shit for a second. We have a movement called Make Our Children Healthy Again, run by some fucking lunatic who has had a fucking brain worm that removed and affected part of his brain, and also has been affected heavily by drugs, and has also been an anti-vaxxer and all kinds of other fucking trash. And all these fucking people from conservative circles are just going along with it like it's perfectly fucking normal. But when Michelle Obama did it, it was the worst fucking thing ever.
Yep.
That's right.
It was
It was the worst. It was the
Hitler.
fucking devil incarnate. She was
Hitler.
fucking yes.
Yep.
This man who lets his grandchildren swim in sewage,
In fucking literal sewage water.
Yep. See, that was the thing too. Is like even like when in like 2008 and all that, you know, when Obama got elected and stuff, and Michelle Obama was like, all right, this is the thing I'm going to work on as the first lady. And like, even the Republicans were like, yeah, there are a lot of fat kids out there. We should, yeah, good idea.
Yes.
So.
Yes, and you know, to combat, you know, I think I saw some news articles this week where, you know, the amount of children suffering from obesity in the entire world has beat the amount of children that are underweight. So, which is kind of that's a very interesting. I didn't read too much into it. I just saw the headlines.
Well, spoiler alert: most of those fucking children are in the USA.
I mean, China getting fat too. So India getting fat too.
I was gonna say it's really silly. It's really funny to see a very puffy child, you know.
That's right.
It is pretty funny. It is
yeah.
pretty funny to see a little, little marshmallow.
In some cultures, a puffy child is a blessing. So let's make all our children puffy again. So
there we go. That'll be my platform when I'm first lady.
The difference is that when a lot of these children internationally grow up, they don't stay fucking obese.
Right.
That's right.
They grow out of it because
they grow out of it. We here in the US,
the systems
we don't.
are just better there. Yeah. Yep, that is a fact.
All right. So in this case, he's going to outline, basically call this the war for our health. So some of these things you might read, they seem fairly ideas that we can all agree on. So some of them ran into policy reforms, limit food dyes, and you know, for all things in children. That's great. You know, you've probably seen the clips of people holding up different Fruit Loops. You know, one from like Europe and one from America, and you know, it's
the
great.
Ingredients are different. Yes, same thing. You know, I noticed a lot of the same shit when I went to you know, even in the Western Hemisphere when I went to Nicaragua. The ingredients are very different, and you know, food is just generally less processed everywhere else.
Yeah. You know, so some of these you do no nonsense that every time the country and the health organizations should be focusing on, like, you know, infant formula. We probably should, you know, make sure the infant formula is not full of heavy metals, because, you know, this is something that happens from time to time. We get these warnings. But then comes to some.
You mean you don't want your kids to ingest metal?
I don't personally want my kids to ingest metal.
You don't want your kids to be metal as fuck, bro?
Yeah.
You know, we don't put them. Yeah. So that's why, since we don't want any metals in our children, that's why we got to stop the vaccines. So, you know, so in this case here, so there's a lot of things in this article that are, I mean, not this article, this is a strategy plan. So it's kind of high level of what they're going to try to do. They're somewhat questionable, mostly questionable to me. Of course, he has the war on vaccines. You know, he's talking about trying to reduce, which is very interesting, trying to get a different vaccine framework. But at the same time, he's going out there in the news and public talking about trying to reduce as many vaccines from a child as possible. Children get about like 13 vaccines during like the first couple of years of their life. He thinks it's like 100.
Right.
So, you know.
He keeps mentioning these words.
That's that fucking drug math, bro.
Yep.
You know, but other ones are like, you know, trying to restrict what you can do with your SNAP money, as in not being able to, you know, you can't use a SNAP to buy junk food and other kind of food goods. SNAP,
that's all they sell. That's all we can afford.
That's right. And, you know, there's places called like food deserts where, you know, this is the only place they can get access to food. They can't go to the supermarket. Some people don't even have cars.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, there's some of that things in there. He's going to reestablish the presidential fitness test. because to convince kids to get healthier, we're going to make sure that they can.
Yeah, it worked so good when I was a kid.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm 280 pounds.
Yeah.
So, 5'7", 280 pounds. I'm basically a circle.
Yeah.
So,
it's because you didn't take the presidential fitness test, dude.
Oh man.
And if you had done the presidential fitness test on a regular basis, you would still be 280 pounds. But you would have run the presidential fitness test.
That's right.
I never got under 10 minutes a mile. It's always been 10. I was the last kid every single time running. Even the guy in the motorized wheelchair beat me. Oh, it's so man. Awful.
Well, he's cheating.
That's a fucking cheat. Yeah. That's cheating.
That rich guy.
Oh man!
Anyways, he's also talking about deregulations, which is an interesting thing. To make America healthy, we're going to deregulate and reduce the amount of things the USDA, whose sole job is help protect us from these things, go. Oh, I don't know if we're moved on to the next article. Sorry about that.
No. You were talking about food deserts, so.
Oh yeah, we're talking about food deserts. So yeah, food
benefits.
Yep, SNAP benefits.
Wait,
yep.
Food deserts or food desserts?
No, food deserts. The food deserts are sometimes full of desserts.
Sometimes that's all you can get.
But as we know, this man, as we've mentioned every single time in this podcast, he's my favorite man in the world to hate on. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., he has these lofty goals, but then how we're going to implement it is the exact opposite. We're going to deregulate things for the USDA to streamline, make things more, reduce protections of consumers and through deregulation. Removing things like, hey, schools can now sell whole milk again. I'm like, how does selling whole milk make the child skinnier?
Right.
Exactly.
Look. It's whole milk, okay?
It's the best.
It's gonna make the child whole.
Instead, anyways. You can read it through it yourself. It's 20 pages. It's pretty light, but remember, a lot of stuff is kind of all over the place. You can probably, it looks like if you didn't know how things are working right now, these are great ideas. Mm-hmm. But it's also just a lot of insane. It's a lot of like trying to we're gonna do a research on how is the clean air like my dog. We have the Clean Air Act. Clean air is good for children and pollution is bad for children. I don't have to tell you that. We don't need a guy to tell us that. We should know that.
Right.
It's already been done. But anyways.
Yeah.
I've gone forever this thing, but we
So you have a clip here about SNAP benefits. Would you like me to play this now?
Sure. So I'm going to give a little. Just play it. We can play it as is because they were.
The SNAP benefits are now underway and impacting the Bay Area. Those include funding cuts, along with new rules to access food stamps to feed families, seniors, and veterans. News Channel 8's Victoria Lucas joins us now live in the Tampa News Center to explain Feeding Tampa Bay's growing concerns. Victoria.
And Ty, there is already a community need as Feeding Tampa Bay says it serves 1 million people across the 10 county service area. Changes to SNAP benefits will only further that need, administrators say.
When you look at numbers here in the state of Florida, we have about 3 million individuals that are on SNAP benefits. You have to imagine that there's going to be a reduction in a benefit and or a loss in benefit.
Feeding Tampa Bay leaders say they are bracing for what's to come, as changes to the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program have now taken effect per the Trump administration's One Big Beautiful Bill Act. The bill makes for $186 billion in program funding to be cut over the next 10 years, which started this month. Director of Public Affairs Shannon Hannon Olivero says there is a concern.
The threat of change is very difficult, especially if it's a real big part of your household.
Here are changes expected to come in the near future. Florida is one of the states that banned SNAP benefits for junk food that is slated to take effect in January. Most adults up to 64 years old will now have to prove they work, volunteer, or go to training for 20 hours per week. The maximum age was 54 years old. Those with
Jesus
dependents
Christ.
under the age of 14 are exempt from this requirement. The previous rule included all dependents under 18.
It's just going to drive more people our way to make sure that they can get access to the healthy foods they need for themselves and those they support.
Hannon Olivero says she and her colleagues are always remaining proactive, trying to stay ahead of the game in preparation for what's next. In this case, it would be continued collaboration.
It's always expanding partners and relationships. You need to make sure that every person in our community and our 10-county area has access to that food.
Hannon Olivero says most of the SNAP changes will occur over the next.
Yeah. That sucks.
Yeah, that really sucks. So mostly that's the situation that we're running into a lot more. Is this is happening across our nation, across every single state, every single city. We just have to lean more into local support. And
Correct.
yeah, and this you should, the other things to also remember is that they are moving a lot of the financial help from federal to your state. So this is actually going to make the state budget inflate more.
It's going to strain health local and state budgets a lot more than it did in the past.
Correct.
And here's a funny thing about the state budget: the state cannot operate at a deficit, unlike the federal.
Whereas the federal government can, yes.
Correct.
So there are going to be a lot of cuts just to try to keep people fed, or people are going to starve. Something's going to happen. So
yep,
I suspect they're going to starve rather than other things. I mean, things are going to get cut anyways, but I'm of the mindset that a lot of these states are going to just cut these programs anyways, and then funnel the money into shit that benefits whoever the fuck is in charge, which the states affected by this are going to be more conservative than not.
Yes. That is a fact. All right. Do we want to get into the meat and potatoes of this week, boys?
Yeah, we had our appetizer. We had our RFK appetizer for today.
Yep. Okay. So, you have probably heard by now that Charlie Kirk was shot and killed while he was performing on stage. So I have a prepared statement about that I'm going to read. I unequivocally condemn the shooting death of Charlie Kirk. Violence in any form is unacceptable. Tragically, on the same day, there was another school shooting in Colorado where a shooter wounded 2 students before dying from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. A stark reminder of the pervasive violence plaguing our nation. It is the duty of every citizen to lead us toward a calmer, more rational place, call upon our leaders to prioritize nonviolence and peaceful discourse. However, Charlie Kirk's legacy was one of division and harm, as evidenced by the statements that actively promoted harmful ideologies and contributed to an environment where people feel unsafe. Here are just a few examples of the rhetoric he employed. We made a huge mistake when we passed the Civil Rights Act in the mid-1960s. Reject feminism. Submit to your husband, Taylor. You're not in charge. If I see a black pilot, I'm gonna be like, boy, I hope he's qualified. Happening all the time in urban America. Prowling blacks go around for fun to target white people. That's a fact. It's happening more and more. I can't stand the word empathy, actually. I think empathy is a made-up, new age term that does a lot of damage. End quotes. While I believe it is important to acknowledge the tragedy of any loss of life, I won't mourn him because I believe his actions and words actively diminished our society. We as Americans have the capacity to be far better than Charlie Kirk ever was, to choose empathy, compassion, and understanding over division and hate. Tommy also included something that I think is really nice. So Tommy, if you could read that for us.
Yep. So, in times of great stress and times of great turmoil, we do tend to look towards our leaders for a calming effect. So I'm reminded of another political assassination, Martin Luther King Jr. While I do not equivocate these two men in any fashion, both have been killed during
And you
time,
shouldn't.
time of, and you shouldn't.
You absolutely should not. Charlie Kirk thought MLK was evil.
Yes. Anyways.
Yep.
Continue.
So, anyways.
So on the day of Martin Luther King's death, the senator from Indiana, Robert F. Kennedy, not Jr., his father, had these words to say. I've edited this a little bit for length and emphasis. Start quote. In this difficult day, in this difficult time for the United States, it is perhaps well to ask what kind of nation we are and what direction we want to move in. You can be filled with bitterness, with hatred, and a desire for revenge. We can move in that direction as a country, in great polarization. Black people amongst black, white people amongst white, filled with hatred towards one another. Or we can make an effort, as Martin Luther King did, to understand and to comprehend and to replace that violence, that stain of bloodshed that has spread across our land, with an effort to understand with compassion and love. For those of you who are black and are tempted to be filled with hatred and distrust at the injustice of such an act against all white people, I can only say that I feel in my own heart that same kind of feeling. I had a member of my family killed, but he was killed by a white man. But we have to make an effort in the United States. We have to make an effort to understand, to go beyond these rather difficult times. What we need in the United States is not division. What we need in the United States is not hatred. What we need in the United States is not violence or lawlessness, but love and wisdom and compassion towards one another, and a feeling of justice towards those who still suffer within our country, whether they be black or they be whites. End quote.
Thank you, Tommy. That's really nice. What happened to Junior? He must have came out upside down or something.
Yeah,
it's the drugs in the brainworm.
Oh yeah, you're right. Well, no, I mean, you also have to remember.
They also shot Robert F. Kennedy, so
that's true.
After this,
that's true. Good point. That sucks as well. Okay, so we're gonna put together kind of a timeline about this whole scenario today, a little bit. We're mostly going to talk about Cash Money Patel, because he is a straight-up cartoon character. So, if you haven't heard of this guy, he is a podcaster who they put in charge of the FBI.
For some reason.
And I think if they did that with me, I would have more experience because I was at least a cop. So
I think if they did that with any one of us, we would be more qualified because we're not fucking idiots.
Yeah, that's definitely part of it.
Right.
So this first article is all the way back in July, right? When they were all people on the right were calling for him to resign because of his handling of the Epstein case and documents. So we talked about it. Pam Bondi says they're on her desk, blah blah blah, same thing, you know. So he's already bungled that, covering for Trump. But then we hear about how Trump wants everybody who worked on the Mar-a-Lago document case. He wants them fired, gone, no matter what, right?
That's right.
Basically, everybody who investigated him and everybody who investigated people on the January 6th shit. Anybody who went against anything that Trump or his followers did was to be on the chopping block.
Boom, fire him.
Right. Get rid of the evidence.
This feller, his name is Brian Driscoll. He was accidentally made
no relation.
No relation. He was accidentally nominative determinism. He was accidentally made the head of the operations of the FBI. If Cash Patel is the mouthpiece, this Brian Driscoll, he's the guy in charge. And it was supposed to be a different guy. And then Brian Driscoll was supposed to be the second in command, but they literally had a clerical error that they refused to fix. So they're just like, nah, it's fine. He can be in charge. So that's how much they already, like, how little they care about, like, enforcing the law and investigating crime in this country. Then you get Emil Bove coming into the fucking DOJ and investigating everybody who was on J6 and all this stuff like that, and asking if, like, literally telling people like, oh, he wasn't based enough, like, to be an FBI agent. And this is a guy they want to be a federal judge, by the way. Emil Bove shouldn't be anywhere near a bench. So,
practicing the law in any form.
Yeah, really. So there is a lawsuit now because Brian Driscoll, Stephen Jensen, and Spencer Evans were terminated through politically motivated retaliation. And I've read a little bit into this, and so basically this Brian Driscoll, he got fired because he was trying to save an employee's job. So basically, he was being told to fire a agent who was also a pilot, and fire him for investigate. I think it was investigating the J6 stuff, but he was never on that case at all. And I think it's probably easy to imagine that it's hard to recruit a pilot for the FBI because you need to have a very wide set of exceptional skills. So just firing one for no reason is a huge waste of time and money, especially if he wasn't even fucking there. Like, you don't need to be a genius to know that about management, I think.
Yeah. Have you seen Management?
Yeah.
It's this is ridiculous, right? They're making mistakes left and right, and they're also not owning up to their damn mistakes. So that's showing weakness.
So that doesn't look good for them. Also, there were some pretty hilarious memes going around internally at the FBI where apparently Emil Bove was portrayed as Bane from the Batman movies, and this Brian Driscoll as Batman. So, but now, so the FBI is in charge of terrorism and whatnot in the country. So they get to investigate. When Charlie Kirk got shot, the FBI came in to help, which included announcing twice that they had the suspect in custody, and then we're like, "Oh, sorry."
So let me fucking get in on this.
Yeah.
So it turns out that Patel was not even in Utah at the time. He was actually in New York at some fucking extremely expensive and exclusive restaurant that he had gotten reservations for. Ooh. And because it's so hard to get reservations for this place, he decided to just go over there and then I guess go to Utah the next day. But whatever the case, when the tweet came out from Patel saying that they had the suspect, he was actually at this fucking restaurant.
Yes. Correct.
Yeah, it's Rayo's. It's expensive. I've not been there.
I mean, obviously we haven't been there.
I've never even been to New York. All right. So during this,
he released all these tweets without consulting any other leadership at the FBI. So correct. Basically, he just dropped the ball for no fucking reason without consulting anyone.
Correct. He was out there trying to play top cop, and he supposedly through a very senior counterterrorism agent who leads the Utah agents off the case.
The SIC, the special agent in charge. Yeah.
So that's stupid. Why would you do that? Especially when he knows the area. He's from the area. God. Anyways, work together. You make a team. Not hard cash money. So then, there was a few hours of on the day Kirk was shot and killed, there were a few hours where it's like, oh, he might make it. And then I was like, well, I saw the video. I don't think he's fucking making it. And then finally when they announced that, well, actually, the president announced that he had died, which is weird for him not being a cabinet member or a politician at all. So, yeah. At any rate, there are some concerning things that happened in this investigation, and how, they also said that the suspects' photos were not released in a timely fashion. And then with all this other stuff happening with the Epstein case and these veteran agents getting fired for the dumbest reasons possible, they're just really calling into question his competency. And it's not just him, it's the whole DOJ. And again, this is just what we've been saying for months now. Like, you shouldn't put a podcaster in charge of the FBI. And here's what happens.
It's all right, guys. I'll take one for the team.
You're going to do it?
Yeah, I'll do it.
All right, sweet. But then hilariously, man. Okay. Okay. Kash Patel, who is an adult Indian male, who was raised Hindu, went on a press conference
on a press conference on national TV
with the governor of Utah, and he said, Rest now, brother.
Rest now, brother.
We have the watch, and I'll see you in Valhalla." Which is the most cringe, awesome shit ever. Why?
The guy's a fucking walking meme at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been that way since he started, but like,
yeah.
I mean, that's true. He doesn't know how to sit in a chair correctly.
I forgot about that. Oh my god.
Yeah.
But no. So let's put aside the fact that that this whole I'll see you in Valhalla shit has been co-opted by white nationalists, etc. from the original, I guess, religion, if you want to call Norse. Let's put that aside. But like you were saying, Kash Patel is Indian, an adult Indian male, so realistically you'd expect him to be Hindu, no?
He was definitely raised Hindu. I don't know that he's been super open about what his actual religion is.
I don't know. We don't know what his actual religious beliefs are. Even if he is a Christian, like Valhalla is not, and that was my next point. Charlie Kirk
is a Christian.
Was supposed to be Christian.
He's a Christian nationalist.
Valhalla is not something that Christian faith has in its fucking anything. There's no. It's paganism, and to them, this is.
See, no, they're warriors, Monkey. They're fellow podcast warriors. Only podcasters get to go to Valhalla now.
Oh,
we're the only warriors left.
Is that how it works?
Yes, that's why we get to go to Valhalla.
That's why we get to go to Valhalla. Tommy's like Tommy's gonna go to Valhalla. You don't want to go to Valhalla?
No, I'm not allowed to go to Valhalla. I'm a coward by nature. So I get thrown into Niflheim or whatever, Osterheim.
Oh yeah.
I want to go to the Guggenheim though. That place is pretty cool.
No, bro, you could just go to Valheim. It'll be fine.
Bathrooms are designed by by Frank Lloyd White. You can shit like he wanted you to shit.
So let's not let's not forget that the Valhalla and a lot of the Norse mythology stuff has been co-opted by white supremacists. Yeah. So it's really weird that he would just bring that up apropos of nothing. It just he is just a walking meme. He is not a serious person. He should not be in charge of the FBI.
He's not a citizen?
No, he's not a serious person.
Oh, I was like, whoa, hold on. I was about to be like, send ICE to his house.
So, okay. Yeah, that's where that culminates. Now, of course, after the death of Charlie Kirk, our president put out a totally legitimate and not crazy statement that definitely wasn't hyper edited and touched
all
up
of them
with
did. Every single fucking conservative mouthpiece out there put out fucking unhinged fucking rhetoric that is just calling for all sorts of bullshit against a group that did nothing and had nothing fucking shooting.
Right,
And
every fucking single one of them.
And I have the clip.
For years, those on the radical left have compared wonderful Americans like
Oh yeah,
Charlie
that was
to
AI generated.
Nazis
Watch the
and
hands.
the world's worst mass murderers and criminals. This kind of rhetoric is directly responsible for the terrorism that we're seeing in our country today.
My fellow Americans, we must come together to...
Not to step all over the Daily Show's bit, but it's just easy to find. Anyways, I just want to be totally transparent. The video is not AI generated. Digital forensics experts have weighed in. However, they did say it is highly edited, using filters and it's done in the Adobe suite. So they have this weird little you can put two clips together and it'll just be totally seamless, and then they just AI generate a few frames in there to try to mash them together. And that's all it was used. The audio is authentic and everything. He's just a nut job. Of course, we are. Hello.
Hi there.
Can you hear me? Oh, there it goes. All right, my microphone cut out for a second. So, and we are here trying to say that we want our leaders to lead us to peace, to lead us to rational discourse, and he's out here.
Out to this shit.
Yeah. So
he's out here blaming it. He was out there. He put out that fucking statement before they even knew who the shooter was.
Right. And we'll talk a little bit about the shooter, but we in the true fact of the matter, we don't know that much about them yet, and there's already more emerging details that are saying, well, we can't release details, probably because it doesn't fit their narrative, but that's neither.
Of course it doesn't fit their narrative.
And it's
also
kind of incredible. Like the past couple 24, 72 hours since the shooting, you try to follow the news on every single details. We got the famous internet sleuth detectives, trying to figure out, this must be a known person. So they kind of dox a trans person who argued with Charlie Kirk 6 months ago. Yeah. It must be this person. Look at him; it's about the same, and they don't even look. They're just skinny white people.
Yeah.
So
and so the president obviously isn't the only one then repeating rhetoric, because he's got a whole slew of followers. So let's start with whoever. Oh, my favorite fucking person in the world, Nancy Mace. Let's see what her dumbass has to say.
I'm going to say this. Democrats own what happened today.
Then by that logic, do Republicans own the shooting of the two Democratic lawmakers in Minnesota?
Hats off to that guy for fucking calling her out.
Yeah, that was a good ballsy move.
That was
good for you.
And she goes, are you kidding me? No, are you fucking kidding us?
Yeah. And then she goes on to say, well, we're talking about Charlie Kirk today. And then it's well, then why are you talking about Democrats? Because he is the farthest from that. Anyways, we got more. This one is my favorite one. Monkey, have you seen this one?
I don't think so. I don't watch Newsmax.
Okay, good.
Last thing I ever want is violence. I spent 9 years in and out of war. The last thing I want is that. But if these people keep pushing, they're going to radicalize a huge portion of America that they don't want. I want us to be able to debate like Charlie Kirk always did on every campus, gave the airtime to opposing views. I want that as my America, not trading gunfire, because I'll win.
Yeah.
What?
He said he doesn't want streets of America to be places where we're trading gunfire, because he'll win.
Yeah, him specifically.
Yeah. And so I believe he is a former Navy SEAL. I believe that is what that that pin on his
That's
lapel.
what that. Yeah, he's got the Navy SEAL pin.
So he's probably pretty good in a gunfight, but I don't think he's going to shoot anybody. He fills out his suit too nice.
You know, it's just Navy SEAL to Gravy SEAL. You know, it's a slow transition.
Yeah. You could have just you know, as Michael Costa's about to say, you could have just stopped. You could have just said, like, violence is bad, but I'm better at it than you are. And now we've got more. This guy, Greg Gutfield, also not a serious person. I can't believe they gave him like a late night show because he is so fucking unfunny. All right, but here's Greg Gutfield's hot take on this.
But by the way,
oh, and to preface this, so all of these people are just like the radical left, or they've declared war on us, you know, like, so who's they?
Who's they?
I don't know. They're just, they're just whoever their boogeyman is, you know, at this point it's
right.
Whoever, honestly, like genuinely, like I don't fucking know who they is, because there's no information about who the shooter was at that time. There was no motive. There was nothing. They didn't know fucking anything.
Yeah.
Because this is the thing where, you know, we have two brains in us, right? We got the emotional brain and the wise brain. And unfortunately, some of these people just rule by their emotions. And
no, I don't think it's some of these people. It's legitimately fucking all of them. They all try to fucking push the narrative that the left is a bunch of snowflakes, that they're all ruled by feelings, and then here they go doing this shit.
And the thing is, these people, these politicians, these influencers, they're taking advantage of Charlie Kirk's death to push, you know, as you said, push the narrative, to advance their own agendas on taking over America. So
yeah, and so again, not to step all over the Daily Show's host stick, because, you know, they do what we do just way, way better. But Michael Costa sums it up pretty well here, so I'm going to let him take it away.
Who's they? No one knows who the shooter is or what his motivation was. And even if it was political, he doesn't represent half the country. But some of these MAGA guys are acting like this is a liberal declaration of war.
If they could do this, they are capable of anything. I think that was the message. I believe that was the message. It's
they're
really
capable
hard
of anything.
to radicalize Republicans.
Yeah.
You know, it's like we're not the radical type.
What? It's really hard to radical. You can't fucking tell me that and keep a straight face.
Yep.
There's no fucking way you said that with a straight fucking face.
Oh,
it's hard to radicalize Republicans. Have you seen fucking MAGA?
Yeah, man.
When they couldn't win the election the fair way, they tried to topple it over. So
yeah.
They're talking about terrorism when they literally went and fucking stormed the Capitol.
Yep, absolutely.
Because their fucking leader decided that he didn't want to let go of the presidency.
No, I'm still the president, actually.
They're all fucking saying that the fucking 2020 election was rigged and that President Trump actually won, etc., etc. How is that not fucking radicalized?
It's fine. We are all domestic terrorists. We all know this.
And that's the thing and here's the thing is, like, all of the talk like this and then, you know, them sanitizing all of this radical behavior leads to really horrible stuff happening. So literally after the killing of Charlie Kirk, we have multiple historically black colleges and universities on lockdown after receiving bomb threats, gunfire threats, all sorts of things. Tommy, you did this happened in your area, so please go ahead and talk about it.
I mean, this actually happened in a lot of
areas. It happened in a few areas.
It was at least
including the Naval Academy of all fucking places.
Yep.
So yeah, which is a really curious thing, because, you know, where it's in this case, right? So across the country, like literally almost like a day after, even after, you know, just bomb threats, you know, shooting threats that went across. You know, this I don't understand why is it specifically these areas are being targeted, right? Probably because
I mean, I understand.
You understand.
You
okay.
understand. You
It's
understand.
racism.
You're just not gonna say it, right?
It's racism.
It's just outward fucking racism.
Yeah.
They're blaming fucking everybody but white people for this shit.
Because the blacks are mostly Democrats, apparently. So because they voted for Democrats. The weird one is, we actually had a given like memo that got emailed out to specifically the UCF. So I think I posted a link to the Reddit there. If you want to show that one.
Yes, I do.
There
are some distressing language on here, just so you're aware.
Yep, there's some distressing language. There is the N-word, a few places. So it's really attack on, black people.
Yes.
So in this case here, this person is from a Telegram. They're mad about from last week. We had like a stabbing.
There was a stabbing here in North Carolina of a Ukrainian lady on the train. I think it was on the light rail.
Yeah.
And the guy who stabbed her was a guy who has been in and out of the system, mentally fucking ill, and
he literally said before he stabbed her, he was like, "Oh, I didn't want her to read my thoughts." Like,
yeah,
this country failed both of those people.
So in this case here, we get this post, and you see this guy's gonna shoot every N-words for blacks on the Orlando campus. And it's pretty awful. I don't want to read all this crap. You can probably read it there on the screen.
Oh, geez. It says that
but
way
the big
more
thing
times
is
there than I thought.
Yeah. I also want to make this essay known because this attack is not associated with 11/9/2001. And I'm like, dog, this ain't November.
Yeah.
So, but this is so in this case, this tells me this person is definitely from a European descent. It could be, what you call like the Russian misinformation machine.
Yes.
Or whatnot.
I do believe that this is definitely Russian state-sponsored terrorism to undermine American democracy.
Correct, because no American writes their date that way.
Oh,
okay.
Even if it's more like date, month, year, like it makes sense. I'm never gonna fucking do it. Never.
That's right, because as you know, the right way to write is year, month, date. That's right.
Get out of here. You're banned.
But anyways, so this tells me that we definitely have a Russian misinformation campaign going around. Yeah, yep. As mentioned in the chat, that is definitely a European thing. So this is definitely a person who is of European background. This person could be here in Orlando, but I have a suspect since it's attacking every single historically black college and universities, it's probably just a misinformation machine. Still probably don't want to risk it.
Yeah, absolutely. It ended up being, it was a lot, like Al said, at the Naval Academy of all places as well. What do we know about this guy who shot Charlie Kirk? Hang on, I got a little summary here.
I'll also put in a YouTube clip of Governor Cox reading some stuff out.
Oh, excellent! I'll pull that up. That down at the end.
Yep, yes. It's already pre-filled for the timestamp.
Okay,
yep.
Perfect. So
I think it would also be worth it to include the clip of Governor Cox saying he was praying that it wasn't one of them.
Yeah. If you could throw that one in there real quick, Tommy, while I read this off. Tyler Robinson, the suspect in the shooting of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. I wrote that very generously. Initially appearing as a promising student with a close family and academic success, Robinson abruptly left Utah State University after one semester and seemingly retreated into an online world filled with memes, video games, and increasingly political views. Authorities are struggling to understand what triggered his actions, pointing to anti-fascist messages engraved on bullet casings found at the scene. Though his shifting political leanings and deep immersion in internet culture complicate the narrative. Despite the 33-hour manhunt, Robinson ultimately surrendered after being identified by his own family, leaving investigators with many unanswered questions about the motivations behind the shocking act of violence. And I just read this morning that he is being uncooperative with investigators, so we might not know a lot for a while, apparently.
They're saying he's being uncooperative.
They're saying he's being uncooperated. Yeah, but
maybe if we don't know if he could be just divulging everything, and they just don't want to release it because it doesn't fit their narrative.
That's true. There is some early evidence that he is associated with the Nick Fuentes,
the Groupers or whatever the fuck they're called.
Yeah, they're a hate group. There is some evidence that he is associated with them, but everybody deserves their day in court. So I just don't think that I don't think he's getting a fair trial one way or another with this whole thing, and especially with this investigation.
I highly doubt it.
Are we good? Can we play TikTok clips as well?
Just I don't. You can play whatever you want. Now,
you can play whatever you want in here.
The second one is the thing you asked for. So.
Okay, perfect. So this is the clip that Al was referencing. Once they had the shooter in custody. Skip. Way. Christ. Holy crap. Talk is hang on. Talk is AIDS.
It's frozen.
Yep. Sure is.
I find another one clip. Okay.
Hang on. I'll close some of these browser tabs I don't need. That'll help.
That's right.
Definitely close that.
Yep.
I was praying that if this
What the fuck, Brave and or TikTok? All right, well.
This is a cover-up.
This is. They're suppressing our media. All right, let's try this again. Got it now.
I was praying that if this had to happen here, that it wouldn't be one of us. That somebody drove from another state, somebody came from another country. Sadly, that prayer was not answered the way I hoped for. Just because I thought it would make it easier on us if we could just say, "Hey, we don't do that."
I really was hoping it wasn't a white guy. So yeah, that is weird. Also, he got to say some pretty funny things.
Yeah. So this is from the original press conference.
Correct. So this is the governor of Utah. This is Governor Cox. And he did say we got him. He did pull that's a George Bush, right? We got him, boys. All right, let's listen to what this absolute Mormon has to say.
That had been engraved on casings found with the rifle. Inscriptions on a fired casing read, "Notices bulges, capital OWO, what's this question mark?" Inscriptions on the 3 unfired casings read, "Hey fascist, exclamation point, catch, exclamation point." Up arrow symbol, right arrow, and symbol, and 3 down arrow symbols. A second unfired casing read, "Oh Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Chow Chow." And a third unfired casing read, "If you read this, you are gay, LMAO."
Okay.
He's gay now for having read that.
Yep. You got
me. We don't make the rules. We don't make the rules. It's just how it is.
Notices bulge. Ooh woo. Capital O, capital.
O, capital W, O.
Oh, fantastic. What a timeline we live in.
So this is a really bizarre situation. Because I used to be in this kind of internet culture, but not this particular one. So The Wired has posted an article going through
which The Wired is trash, but carry on.
Yeah, The Wired is trash. Some, it's probably not the best kind of thing, but I did have some friends reading through it. It is an incredibly wild time, and the internet, as always, is a terrible, horrible cesspool that needs to be controlled by a giant red firewall that controls our entire population and things. So,
are you talking about the Chinese firewall? Because that got leaked.
Oh, well, never mind. But because of such thoughts and regulations, right? Where they're actually kind of pushing forward some other regulatory things of holding like the social medias and producers of media responsible, right? This used to be called, I think it was the Smith-Mund Act. But yeah, and other kind of ways to try to control our communication population because of people like, I guess, Nick Fuentes and his groypers, which is a dangerous.
It just sounds racist too, by the way.
The groyper or the
Yeah.
Smith-Mund Act?
Yes.
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 Yep. So, yes. So, they're going to now push. So, in this case, the Smith-Mund Act was back in 1948. So, it is kind of like right at the beginning of the Cold War, right? To help regulate broadcasting for foreign audiences and try to do some kind of control of speech. We have we had some changes during the Obama administration to kind of make it more modern because some things were excluded. We also had situations like I think it's called like Section 230, I think, where we can't hold social media companies responsible
for the content that's on their fucking platforms.
Yep.
Yeah. So content moderation, but because of these kind of freedom of speech things, people can say whatever they want, and it may be trying to push for more restrictions on such things. So
yeah,
they're calling it the Charlie Kirk Act. So
oh my
go figure.
God.
Yeah. Which is just a
He was a free speech absolutist, though.
That's right.
Yeah. Boy, talk about a group of not media literate people at all.
It's only it's only free if we're the one speaking it.
That's
so
right.
Once it's something we hate,
That's how it works.
That is how it works. That is the end of what I think I have for stories this week. Do you guys have anything else that you want to add?
Because Hyundai might be pulling out of.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
We
definitely need to talk about this. So
there's just so much happening all the time.
There is so much fucking happening, but this is an important one because it affects not only immigration but also economic.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. This is a big deal.
Outcomes.
Absolutely.
So
take it away. What happened?
If you haven't been following, there was a fucking ice raid at a Hyundai plant in Georgia that was still under construction. I think they went in looking for 4 people initially, and
Correct.
they ended up taking some 400 or 300. I don't remember exactly.
It was over 400 or nearly 400, I believe.
Well, they took 300, and 300 of them were Korean nationals. They were here training people. They were here teaching Americans how to use their stuff.
Yep, on business.
Because this is all proprietary shit. You don't just pick somebody up off the street and they're immediately like, hey, run this car thing.
Yeah.
But anyway,
the machines got to get made somewhere. They're not made here, so the people got to teach you how to use the machines.
They put them out. They put them in chains. They fucking paraded them on, publicly, etc.
They made it look like a slave walk.
Yes, Chat just said, it's very, very offensive to. It's humiliating. And humiliation like that in an Asian culture is something that is not that they don't tolerate.
They really don't tolerate it.
They really don't tolerate it.
Correct.
So
I speak up for all Asians and saying humiliation is not tolerated.
And President and fucking Trump tried to convince these people to stay, but what do you know?
Yep.
They all fucking decided to go home.
We'll take our car plants and move it somewhere else. So this is not a very friendly economic thing. And this is truly a problem to try to help make our economy great and big again. Georgia's been trying to fight for this plant forever because that's like a little.
They need jobs.
We looked at the map.
The governor of Georgia even traveled to South Korea to bring this shit over here.
Yep.
But what do you know? The fucking
federal government fucked it up again.
Policy just decided to not give a shit and fucked it up. And of course, Georgia's governor is a Republican. All these people are Republicans, and they were, that they worked. Their fucking dear leader didn't give a shit.
Yep.
Until it was too late. Suddenly, when the prospect of losing all this business gets thrown in his face, he gives a shit and wants these people to stay.
Where were they? I'm sure they were not being held in a hotel. So where did he meet with these? He didn't meet with these people, I'm sure.
He didn't meet with these people. You think that motherfucker's gonna fly down there and go to wherever the fuck they're being held and talk to these people personally? No.
It's just the South Korea, not North Korea.
Oh, jeez.
Oops. Sorry.
Well, actually, South Korea. I mean, that's why, like, if you're from North Korea and you go to South Korea, they're just like, nah, man, there's one Korea. You're a citizen.
Yeah.
So
they don't represent us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in this case, so they kind of flew down here. Is a whole immigration kind of fiasco, right? It's in between like two different countries. It's kind of big.
Yeah.
So
it's even more of a big deal because now you have a bunch of other companies that are, rightly so, hesitating to bring business to the U.S.
Yeah. Oh.
So, I mean, if I was a fucking South Korean business owner, I would think twice about, sending people over here to do anything. So not only is that now going to affect our economic in terms of business, but it's also going to affect our tourism. Now you're not going you're going to see less and less Koreans, less and less, people from Japan, less and less, etc. Because they're going to be afraid of this shit happening to them.
Yep. Absolutely. And I actually just read a thing that Canadian, like, tourism in Canada is way up and ours is way down already. So
yeah, I believe it. Good. It's at this point, what's the only thing these people seem to understand is either violence or it hurts their pockets.
That's right.
Pretty much.
I remember reading that the mayor of like Las Vegas had to like fly up to Canada, like trying to beg, them, hey, please encourage more things to Las Vegas because Las Vegas is on fire.
Yeah.
And it's broke because it's also super expensive.
Yes.
So
man,
it's gonna keep happening.
Yeah, maybe if you want people to come to your fucking city, don't make shit so expensive for no reason.
Yeah.
And don't get people arrested just because they're having fun because they look slightly different. So
they legitimately made the fucking brown paper bag test real and legal. It's
put up the Family Guy clip.
Sure.
No, it's fine.
Family Guy.
Family Guy. I think it was TSA.
Oh yeah.
He had like a little sheet that had a different color hues.
Oh, it wasn't TSA. I'm sorry. It's
we'll just pull up the meme.
Guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine.
So yeah, that's essentially what we're talking about.
That's basically what's happening.
Yep. Except instead of just getting an extra little check at the airport, which also is a violation of your rights, these people are getting detained and deported. And they're often like, some of them are permanent residents, some of them are refugees, and they're getting deported to deplorable places with horrible conditions, even right here in this country. These are also the people, who were, so upset about the shooting death of Charlie Kirk were like, yeah, we should feed immigrants to alligators at Alligator Alcatraz.
Yeah. There's also the guy that was on Fox News, the host. He said that to help solve the homeless population, we should just shoot him. So
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Brian Kilmeade.
Yep.
An hour ago, it did say he apologized for that, but also
So this guy on CNN gets fired for kind of a lukewarm take.
No, he wasn't. It was MSNBC. He was.
Okay.
I think it was Matt Dowd or Matthew Dowd or something like that.
Okay, yeah.
But
so he gets fired for a lukewarm take.
It wasn't even a lukewarm take. He said hate begets hate. Like, yeah. Hate begets hate. What more can you fucking get from that? Besides, he didn't support Charlie Kirk, but he wasn't celebrating his death.
No.
He didn't say anything about, he's gone or anything like that. He didn't say anything.
No.
He said He said hate begets hate begets hate.
And so we've been seeing now that there is this sort of coordinated hate campaign from the people who they hate cancel culture and they love free speech, but
and they're canceling people.
And then they go and they're doing the same except thing. It's like a weird reverse canceling, and so it's really dumb. And I think there's going to be a lot of fallout from it, like not in the way they hope for. Like that's the problem, is all of this shit always just backfires on them.
Like in a way,
it comes from a place of hate.
And these are said, of course, these people and these businesses have every right to do that, right? It's freedom of business, free things to choose things. And that's fine. But if you're choosing to fire these people out of fear that the president or these things are going to, these hate mongers are going to retaliate against you, right? Because that's what most of it is, right? Because as a business, you don't really care. You just want to make money and these things, and it's ridiculous.
Look at Target. So, they'll ride any trend. Like, okay, being gays in now, screw it, gay shirts. Okay, they don't like the gays anymore, get rid of the gay shirts.
Yeah, but it's affecting a lot of like real people's lives, and that's like the biggest focus that we folk here on the podcast. Real people's lives are getting hurt over this stuff. This is maybe nonsense on TV, but lives are broken, families are getting destroyed. And these are decisions made by, our politicians and our people. So, and we want to try, reduce that.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Yeah, that sucks. Don't be shitlords is the real answer, I guess. Like, don't go out of your way looking for a fight. Why?
Speaking of being a shitlord, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., I'm calling you out on a boxing match.
Nice.
You told me to run 15 miles last time. You can't even walk 5 feet. I can dare beg you that. We're gonna power walk, buddy. We're gonna power walk you, bitch. I want to watch your hips sway.
Whoa!
Like, are we talking like 12 rounds of boxing here, like a full legit boxing match?
It's gonna be yes. Him and his flabby little arms. And his smoke, he can barely like.
He's gonna show up in jeans and like leather shoes and no shirt. It's gonna be great.
The motherfucker is asking for Medicare to keep track of your VO2 max. I'm like, your VO2 max, your VO2 thing is probably like 7. I don't know how you breathe. How do you live? How do you live? It's okay.
How do you lie?
How do you lie?
Whoa, hold up. Worm on worm action.
Ooh, spicy. Live on pay-per-view. This will all be Patreon content eventually, and it'll just be us beating up a pinata.
Yeah, if you want to see that, you need to go on Patreon and pay us $3.50.
If we can get $30,000, I'm gonna then send a tweet to RFK Jr. to challenge him to a boxing match.
All right. If the $30,000 needs to be to like book a venue and have the fight.
It's all going towards the boxing. He's gonna bitch out. Look at this man. He doesn't. It's fine.
If you ask MAGA, they're all him and fucking whiskey leaks are the epitome of the male, male bodies. So
yeah, all complete with an iron cross tattoo. Fucking hedgehog.
Any other things that we would like to talk about?
No, I think we're good. We do have a little bit of housekeeping. We will not be here next week because we're tired and we have things that we need. So that's it. We haven't done a gaming stream in a while. Mostly because...
I'm down to game later, but I gotta power wash my gutters, unfortunately.
Yeah, I have to get a room ready in my house for a friend.
Doing manly things,
Yeah, hell yeah.
Out here.
I also need to get a room ready for people coming to visit my house too, and gonna go to dinner with a lady.
Ooh.
That's not my mother for once.
Nice.
Wait, what?
No, it's fine.
It'd be cool if it was your mom too, though.
I could live stream the date, but it's fine.
Yeah.
She probably
don't do that.
I think we're gonna try to find a time to do a game stream for once. I need it. we'll discuss that, and we'll come together on a point here soon on that. So, alrighty. We are the team behind EasyVoteND.com. You can find us there. Tommy wrote a nice. I think it's a poem. I like that a lot, actually.
It's called a poem. Yeah.
Yeah. So, go read it, please. And then we're on YouTube. You can find us here. We're live pretty much every week. And you won't see us next week. I might try to stop in and do a gaming stream or something, just because I'll be around. But I have some other stuff I need to take care of. Thanks for joining us. This is Crying is a Free Action. Please always choose peace over violence. Pretty much everything in life can be solved through nonviolence and discussion.
That's right, because if you just shoot a man, you technically lost,
Yeah.
So,
like, violence begets violence. That's what I want to underscore here, is that violence in any form is unacceptable. Don't do it. All right.
Eye for eye, make the world blind.
Exactly.
Keep your eyes open, buddies.
That's right. All righty. Well, thank you, Tommy. Thank you, Al, for being here.
Yep.
Perfect. Thank you all for joining us today. We've been Crying is a Free Action, the podcast at EasyVoteND.com. Thank you, and have a wonderful week.